O'Reilly Factor, the #1 cable news show for 15 years and counting.
Thanks for staying with us. And Bill O'Reilly in the Miller Times segment tonight. As we told you in the Talking Points memo, Americans getting fed up with lack of action against the jihadi killers. Joining us now from Santa Barbara, the sage of Southern California, Dennis Miller. Now, I'm sure you're in that category, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. The whole thing's absurd.
Well, I don't usually like to reveal too much about myself, Billy, but if you're talking about lighting people on fire in cages and decapitating them en masse, yes, I'm on board. I think that's a bad thing. And you know something? If they're the JV, we're now the freshman team. And our coach is a lot more like the Dennis Hopper character in Hoosiers than he is the Gene Hackman character in Hoosiers. And the State Department is being manned or womaned by all the young chicks on the pep squad who couldn't make the cheerleader team, came out with the fake white guns and the donuts at halftime. Radical Islam is as inexorable a wave as the last one glimpsed by the 21 Coptic Christians on that beach. And I think our president heard the cop in Coptic and just reflexively assumed that they acted stupidly. We've got a leaning tower of appeasement in the White House right now. He's euphemizing decapitations as noggin recalls. And it's time that we had a Camp David meeting between al-Sisi and Bibi Netanyahu. Keep al-Sisi out of it. Get those two guys over there and figure out how to croak as many of these pigs as we can.
Now, in the last segment, we discussed President Obama today at the summit to fight extremism. They wouldn't put Islamic on it. That he's thanking the coalition of 60 nations, Miller. Would you like to thank them tonight as well?
You know, I used to tease and say there's us and everybody else, but Billy, I assume that somewhere out there, maybe Monaco is more of a hawk now than we are. So, yeah, it's not like the old days, baby, when they rallied round the flag and the tent pole. We're a little soft right now, so I can't denigrate these cats. I'm going to have to, like I said, go to my go-to boys, Netanyahu, and he knows we're not there for him.
Of course.
That's almost good in a way, because he's thinking, great, one less phone call to make when it's go time. And the other guy knows that he's got crazies in the house, and I hope those two get together and start playing whack-a-mole, because our guys over here talking about jobs, I hope they don't vest these creeps in Obamacare eventually.
Well, it's really a grim situation. We haven't even begun to talk about Putin, who did, you know, his thugs have grabbed another city in Ukraine. I mean,
Putin looks like a Teletubby. Putin is a Teletubby compared to those nuts over there. Putin is a godless man. These are God-initiated men over there. We got real troubles when our guys asleep at the switch.
Okay. Did you read this 50 Shades of Grey book?
No.
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 I read it because I'm an author, and they sold 20 million copies. And it was the worst book I have ever read in my life. And now millions of people.
All the way through? Is it the worst book you read all the way through?
I have to confess I didn't get through it, but I read, maybe 60% of it. But I was going, I
didn't read any of it. You know why they're doing so much business at the theater? It's a two-pronged thing, Billy. Conservatives hear the title 50 Shades of Grey, and they think it's a biopic about Mitch McConnell, and they all show up. Then they find out it isn't. And on the other side of it, you got a little return business going, because a lot of guys are coming out of the theater and saying, yes, mistress, may I have another? And they go right back in and watch it. But they're selling no concessions, because the guys can't eat the popcorn. They got the ball gags in, so concessions are way off. But they are selling some ducats.
Yeah, you can't have the big giant soda when you're handcuffed. You can't get it up to the theater.
No, Billy, you got it. That's half the thing, is having the big chew toy in your mouth.
Whatever,
But I'm glad you only read it 60% through. Had you accomplished your goal at that point? Or what happened there?
I just couldn't anymore.
What did you mark the
believe me,
page
everybody
with,
who read
Billy?
that
Did
book,
you have a bookmarker?
The jihadists will behead you if they find out, so keep it quiet. All right, Miller, we'd like to thank and remind everybody that the Lone Don't Be a Pinhead show with tickets, Rio Rancho, New Mexico, Saturday, April 11th. great time to be in the land of enchantment. Details on BillO'Reilly.com. Did you see that on deck? Is the report that ISIS burned 45 people to death in Iraq true? Martha McCallum, moments away.